Right, enough of that. Not playing it anymore.
You're playing Extreme Sprint next.
What the fuck is that?
It's a sprinting game.
By 3010, most countries were ruled by the totalitarian governments, and they were in desperate need of brutal entertainment that would only fulfill people's wildest desires. Extreme Sprint seemed to be the perfect solution. Its rules were simple, yet it had a huge entertainment factor. The runner had to complete 3 laps in specially created stadiums, while he was chased up by the hunter. If the runner was caught, he disappeared and was never seen again.
You know, this was actually on the same disc as Snow Rider, annoyingly enough. Anyway, we start the game and you have to make a profile. It's not too bad entering your name with this system. It's kind of like the one from My Street, though I had to wait for a hint to tell me how to advance further due to the buttons being somewhat unresponsive. I will give credit where credit is due though and say that this was my controller at fault here, not so much the game. So, the game has this 25 to life motherfucker running around through an obstacle course, and the player has to avoid the many traps and obstacles to keep the runner's speed so that they aren't crushed by the hunter. Or the chaser, as it's referred to everywhere else in the game. You might notice at the back of the box mentions that the runner isn't seen again if caught by the hunter. Well, that sounds very ominous and mysterious, until you see that the hunter is actually just a giant bulldozer, and the most likely scenario is that they're flattened and ground up into little chunks. This isn't that Doctor Who episode with the Big Brother house. It's not like there's any ambiguity, you're just crushed. This game's concept kinda reminds me of those stages in Crash Bandicoot where you have to run away from a monster or a boulder or something. Except this is a whole game of that, and it's really fucking boring. The game has quite a bit of effort put into the environments, as far as detail goes. If I can be fair, it's not that bad, but it is all for naught, as the game still manages to look like arse, especially for the year it came out, which was 2007. Yes, this thing rivaled games like Resistance Fall of Man and Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Final Fantasy XII came out this year on the same console, and that looked way better than this. Well, actually, to be fair, the game was made in 1998, but they didn't make it a PS2 game until nearly 10 years after the fact. Go figure. The game is rather easy due to the generous amount of health you get. The unlikelihood of the hunter catching you unless you really fuck up, and the lack of damage or hindrance caused by the obstacles all add up together to make a very underwhelming and boring experience where you just lightly jog away from a very overbearing machine. Honestly, the game is just depressingly boring to play, running around in circles again and again with virtually no variation or surprises to save you from the trance that you'll likely slip into whilst doing this monotonous shit over and over again. Dive, jump, repeat. It's just incredibly dull. Not to mention the complete lack of motivation. You see, the sole motivator in this game is to survive. But that's not a motivation. That's an objective. There's no reason that you'd want to survive, especially in a world that's as depressing to look at as this. And according to the law, it's not like you're gonna go home to a nice place. The world's fucked. If I survive, what do I get? I get to go back to my life ran by a homicidal dictator. Gee, what a prize that is. It just seems like the best ending I can have is walking into the death machine. At least then I can escape this nightmare world. And that's pretty fucking depressing, to be honest. I actually did get to have a peek around the music and sound files on the PC version, and amazingly the longest track on this bastard is 7 seconds long. Both of these tracks are on an endless loop, and they just make you want to pop your eardrums just how awful they sound. They do at least pretend to have more than one mode, but all modes feel the same. The only difference is that with the exploration mode and tournament mode, you have to do the standard mode for even longer. And fuck that shit, man. Honestly, the only entertainment to be had out of this shitty fucking game is to whack your head on these bars like they're a bedroom door frame, and then fall on your back and have your head crushed by the Miss Peaches mobile. Oh, and the game over screen is pretty damn funny after that. So, yeah. Fuck this game. What else is there?